Cheap waiver services will cause you to get a denial. Ken Scott, Senior, U.S. Immigration Law Intelligence Analyst with www.usentry-waiver-services.com. And guys, you're going to want to listen in for this one. All right. The reason why I say that cheap waiver services are going to cost you a denial, I'm speaking from the position of a former federal officer, former law enforcement officer that was previously posted in Washington State. The thing is, when you've worked for the U.S. government, and I've worked for a couple of different agencies, but when you previously worked for the U.S. government, you know how things work behind the scenes. You know about the political part of it, the academic part, and just overall like the work structure. All that factors into these waivers, believe it or not. That's the part you guys don't know. These discount waiver companies, a lot of these lawyers don't know. They don't get it. And I'm actually glad they don't get it. And I tell you why. Well, I'm gonna give you an example. What happened today? A gentleman came down. He filed his waiver. I'm going to say using a lawyer back east. I'll leave it at that. And the lawyer charged him a suspiciously low fee. I see why that fee was suspiciously low. So the gentleman's waiver has been pending for 14 months now. And based upon the gentleman's situation and his circumstances, I could easily tell that how DHS, which is Homeland Security, but how DHS is going to come at him. What the lawyer submitted, and he had copies of it. I'm not gonna lie, guys, it was piss poor. I mean, uh, I don't want to insult like uh, grade school kids, but a third grader could have did a better job. Now, I told the guy truthfully, I said, I do want you to get approved. And if you get approved from what he's done, I'm totally happy for you. And that's the truth. I am happy because, he got what I guess he got what he paid for. He got his approval. I don't think he's going to get an approval. And I don't want to tell you why, because I'll be giving away trade secrets. He's already saw like a snippet of the trade secrets. He was very surprised and impressed. And uh, his partner, his female partner, was sitting right here where I'm sitting, and she felt likewise. So I showed him a bit of a snippets, some of the stuff they do behind the scenes. I showed him how we prepared a certain file in his situation. I showed him how we had another client went to someone else, got a denial, and that person's denial letter, I said, is a good chance it's going to match what he gets. Now he may not get a denial, he might get an approval. If he gets an approval, though, I will faint because that waiver was really prepared, piss poor. I mean, and this was a lawyer, but that was a really piss poor application. And he showed me some messages, I guess, some correspondence, communication, and that lawyer was also telling him a lot of wrong information. And I told the guy, and the guy will tell you if he was here. I actually I sat in the chair behind the laptop screen here, and as he's telling me what happened, I couldn't help it. I had to put my head down. I was laughing so hard, not at the gentleman, but I was laughing so hard, and he understood why. He didn't get mad at all. He's like, yeah, I know. It's- It, it, it was just so stupid what happened. Not the client or his woman, but it's just so stupid what this lawyer did. And I'm going to call a spade a spade. He fucked up this guy's file. He didn't do this stuff properly. And this is why when you guys cheap out with these discount waiver companies, these lawyers, you guys get your denials. You get what you pay for. You get what you deserve. Because I keep telling you guys, you need to hire a former federal officer or a senior U.S. immigration officer, intelligence analyst, someone who knows how this stuff works behind the scenes. Guys, we clear a lot of former big fish over here in Surrey. A lot of the guys from, like I said, Surrey, East Van, Abbey, um, I'm gonna say Maple Ridge, uh, Brampton, um, and I guess we'll say Chilliwack. And guys, I'm purposely picking those cities. And you guys who are from the Lower Mainland, you guys know exactly why I call out those areas. And you guys over in Ontario know exactly why I called out Brampton. But those are guys we get cleared, the guys from that region, from those locations, because those locations tend to have certain things. Those guys don't cheap out at all. In fact, those guys that fly here from Brampton and some of the ones over here in the lower mainland, we take them down to the border to file their waivers in a little mini limousine slash SUV, all at no cost. And you say, well, Ken, is that true? Of course it's true. I don't cap about anything. And you say, well, why? Oh, why are you telling us? Why am I telling you guys? If you guys know Ken Scott, you know Ken Scott loves to gloat. I love gloating because these other competitors, these other commoner competitors, they can't do it. They don't have the means or the know-how. They don't have the manuals like we do. We've got the same DHS manuals that they use at the headquarters to adjudicate these waivers, and more so. I don't want to give a complete list because what we're finding out is a lot of these peasant competitors, they're going back to our content, trying to reverse engineer the stuff to use. So we got to really, really keep it low key here for that sense. But anyway, the point is, you guys don't cheap out with this stuff. Trust your gut. The gentleman didn't fully trust his gut, and he might be paying the price here soon. But another person who came in today, he trusted his gut, and he called other places at first, and these other places, go figure, Toronto discount waiver companies, they're trying to sell him a bunch of baloney, so to speak. He saw through it right away and just hung up. So, guys, also apologize, guys. I'm a bit knackered, a bit tired, so some of my words may not come out as clear. So please bear with me. Because the fact that we have so much work, I'm actually missing a lot of sleep now over this. Because, guys, sometimes I work up to 1 a.m. on these files, but I do for you guys. So, but anyway, getting back to the gentleman here earlier, we showed him some snippets about how we can turn his file around. And he said 100% he's coming back if he gets a denial. And he will. You guys that know me well know full well that Ken Scott keeps his word. My word is my bond. And I gave him an example. Sorry, the other gentleman here earlier gave him an example of how word is your bond. So if I give you my word, I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it. So you guys don't have to worry about that because I've got a massive, exceptional reputation here. Exceptionally positive reputation here in the lower mainland. I'm going to say as far as Western Canada. Brampton's not really Western Canada, but Brampton going west, I have a massive rep. And I'm going to keep that rep. Anyway, guys, don't want to bore you too much. So I want to warn you guys, you call these discount waiver companies. I'm going to tell you one secret. What they do, within the first 1 to 3 minutes, I'll go as far as to say 5. Within the first 1 to 3 minutes, they're going to start handling you guys for a credit card number. You say, well, why? Well, why do you think? So they can start charging your card, putting the cost on there so they can, keep charging for these hidden fees. We don't do that. So food for thought. Remember, within the first 1 to 5 minutes, they're going to hit you guys for a credit card, or you're going to get them really harsh on the phone, really, to be honest, really asshole like, because their mindset is you're not going to sign, you're not going to sign, you're not going to pay, bye, nothing to do with you. I don't do that crap. You guys know I don't do that. I'll talk to you on the phone. I need to get the details of what happened, why, and how, because once I have the details, then we can put together, we meaning me and my staff, we can put together the strategy to get this thing pushed through. And guys, I'm not talking about something like card theft or someone stole a chocolate bar from London Drugs. I'm talking about the bigger stuff. And you guys use your imagination when I say bigger stuff. Again, that's why we charge from 25 to 2,800 starting up to 60K. You guys can imagine what a 60K case is. Anyway, Ken Scott, Senior, U.S. Immigration Law Intelligence Analyst with www.usentryWaiverServices.com. And it's 888-908-3841 or 604-562-8140. One thing you guys might be interested in, if you get your money, you can invest it in different places like overseas and maybe get an investment. I'm thinking of maybe doing that in Latvia and definitely Estonia and probably eventually Finland. Why? Because I lived in that region before, that Northern European region. So I know the culture, I know a lot of Estonian, I know how Finns are, and I'm learning about Latvians. So, all right, I'm out. You guys have a great day.